Hey guys, it's Mo. So today we're going to be doing a brief tutorial using the Tri palette by Juvia's Place. I'm not an affiliate, I am not sponsored, and I did purchase this with my own money. Just want to be clear. I always want to identify that. So I'm speeding up through some of the aspects of this tutorial, not only to make it brief because I don't want to waste your time, but also because I think there's certain things that you guys already know how to do pretty well. And unless you have some questions about it, I just don't see the point in spending too much time instead of just getting to the point of what the look is really going to be. But I will say that I did my foundation with my Too Faced Born This Way foundation in Praline, and I also use that same formula concealer in Sand. I'm using Lay and Low Paint Pot by MAC on my lids with a 252 brush by MAC, but you can use any flat shader. And then I'm using Ashanti, which is it looks darker brown in the palette itself, but it comes off almost like a mustard yellow. Strange. It really is a duplicate to me, or reminiscent of MAC's Uninterrupted, which is my usual transition color, which is a good thing. I'm going to keep blending out this concealer, and the key, and this is coming up with a lot of clients lately, guys, the key to avoid creasing underneath your eyes, in most cases, now if you have creases under your eyes, you just have creases under your eyes, but the key to avoid making it worse is to not use too much product. That's basically it. On my lid, I'm going to use what looks like it's called Shaga. Shaga! Get it? Shaga! I'm just kidding. I'm such a nut. I love doing voice overlays because it's kind of like you're in my brain. So I'm just going to put this all over the lid and blend that out as much as I possibly can. I really, really love this color. It looks more like a woodwinked or a brown, a golden brown in the palette, but it comes off almost like an olive tone brown, if that makes sense. I thought that was kind of strange. It didn't pay off the way that I expected, but then the first color, Ashanti, didn't pay off the way I expected either, and that's not common for Juvia's Place. I did have to place this on a little bit. I had to build this up just a bit, not because the color didn't come off, but it almost functioned like a pressed pigment. And that's a little daunting sometimes because they tend to fall apart. It's great when you get it on the eye, but you do have to pack it. I'm using my rich brown. This is a shadow, well, no, it's a brow powder. It's a brow powder by Tarte. And I've had this for years, guys. I cannot get rid of this thing. I literally have had it for years. But I love it. It's a nice texture. Not too dry. Not too, I guess, greasy, if you will. I'm going to go underneath my eyebrow and just sculpt this out. This is going to be an NC35 Studio Finish. This is also in my medium palette from MAC. I use the palette because I'm an artist. And carrying around one little sliver of concealer is kind of a waste of time for me. But I do love the palette nonetheless. But NC35 is what I'm going to use to highlight underneath the brow. And I'm also going to say, this is going to be best for me being about an NC 42, 43, 44 in MAC colors. So if that gives you any indication on how far down on the scale I go, that's pretty much it. I'm using a Morphe brush here, a Morphe angle brush here, which was about $3. Man, I gotta say, and I'm no advocate for any specific brush, to be honest, but I do pack up on these Morphe brushes. They are just so cheap and they work. I am also, again, using my Wet n Wild palette, guys. This is my duo from Wet n Wild that I always talk about, that I've used for years. It's $5. You cannot beat it. It's called like Toffees and Cream or Caramel or something like that. I pick it up and never read it, but it's freaking amazing. I'm finishing off here, and I'm also going to dust some of this off. Now, dust lightly underneath the eyes, guys. Again, this will also make a crease if you put too much powder, but I'm using MAC's Mineralize Skinfinish in golden, and that's why you see so much kick up. Hint, hint. It always says that when it gets near the bottom of the pan. I still love it though. It gives an amazing finish. It gives a nice skin finish. On my eyes, I'm using a Fluid Line by MAC. Now, I should know this name, but I'm not gonna lie to you. It's called like Siahi. It's S-I-A-H-I. You're like, Mo, why don't you just type it in there? I'm like, I don't feel like it. But it's a beautiful blue. And in the corner, I just use Cuba. That's also not Cuba. It's not Cuba. It's not C-U-B-A. It's K-U-B-A. And that's got to be Cuba to me because my people are from Cuba. So Anywho, honey, I'm using Give Me Life. This is the bronzing powder that came out with one of the Patrick Star collections. I think this is, this was the summer collection, to be honest, not the spring collection. I love this. It's reminiscent of Refined Golden or Soleil for you MAC old heads. That Soleil came out, oh God, 15 years ago, and there's never been another one like it. But it's really light, like Refined Golden, so it's nice. Just gives a little bit of color to the skin, not too much. I do shape my face just slightly with that. I'm using the liner Minted, and this is something, I don't know if it's made anymore, to be honest. I think that you can still get it at a pro store. But it's a beautiful green, and you can actually, I'm packing it back on with this color Cuba, so if you want to just use the shadow underneath the eyes, that's fine. It'll work the same. And actually, that's my preference. If you have ever been a client of mine, then you know that I am a fan of using shadow underneath eyes over liner any day because they don't bleed. I packed on some Ardell 162 lashes already while I was off the screen. You didn't even catch that, I was so fast. And I'm using the Kevyn Aucoin The Mascara. It's called The Mascara, guys. It's an extremely small spoolie, and the great thing about that is it gets underneath the lids and underneath the lash band in an amazing way and lengthens those eyes. I sprayed my face with Cover FX, lined my lips with Cork, and used a little bit of Ariana Grande's Lipglass, the Viva Glam Lipglass on my lips. Took a selfie, which was a picture we saw at the beginning, and that is all. Thanks so much for watching. Stay till the end. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Okay, bye.